This video is proudly sponsored by Gamersgate. Download games anytime, anywhere. Visit Gamersgate.com.
While the show itself came off more than a little underwhelming in terms of surprises, E3 2012's software lineup still managed some superb content in spite of itself. Sift through their hyper-violent trailers and awkward press briefing tedium, and you'll find a wealth of content suited for every market and all tastes. Unique visions like Unfinished Swan and Deadlight previewed the future of AAA downloadables, while the demos for Dishonored and Epic Mickey 2 forecast a diverse retail market for the next 12 months. The staff at Elder Geek has procured the best of the crop, narrowed down the hundreds of titles on the show floor to this elite collection of hype magnets and surprise favorites. This is ElderGeek.com's Best of E3 2012.
Number 10. Pikmin 3 and Halo 4.
After the final tally, we felt these two polar opposites were inseparable from the Best of E3 flock despite a dead tie. Both have taken on risks in addition to their own development, Pikmin 3 being the first of the Nintendo pantheon to be firmly associated with the Wii U's feature suite, and Halo 4 acting under a new studio and a new leg to the storied saga. But both have inspired confidence by keeping the irresistible charm of Pikmin alive and taking some noted leaves out of Metroid's exploratory handbook, respectively. Not to mention, we're drooling at the immense possibilities of Spartan Ops.
Number 9. HITMAN Absolution.
Leather Nun trailers aside, with so many stealth games co-opting action game aesthetics to compete outside their market, we're all too happy to get in some undiluted sneaking with Agent 47. Seeming to manage the balancing act of modernizing and remaining faithful to its genre, Absolution's more personal glimpse into the taciturn agent has us skeptical, but definitely curious. The real draw here is the newly expanded, tiered mission structure that now requires mid-level checkpoints. As long as they include some occasional dark humor and plenty of opportunities to play with piano wire, we'll take out the contract.
Number 8. Tomb Raider.
Lara Croft is gearing up to take back her action-adventure crown from Nathan Drake, no matter how painful the journey will apparently be. Crystal Dynamics has managed an excellent showing for 2 years now, but their 2012 demo offered a more in-depth look at the minute-to-minute potential fatalities we'll come across as Lara Croft. When so many games are going for grit and guts, Tomb Raider's sound design and varied gameplay progression actually sells the concept with more than a bit of verisimilitude. It's been a while, but we're eager to start cliff diving and spelunking again.
Number 7. Assassin's Creed 3.
We've made no bones about our franchise fatigue with the Animus, but with a new numbered entry in the franchise comes some much-needed fresh air. Our new assassin friend Connor has to contend with both redcoats and bears, with nature traversal feeling as fluid as rooftop hopping and even more entertaining. Assassin's Creed's penchant for historical detail all but guarantees one of the most intricate depictions of colonial America the medium has seen. The American Revolution also brings with it a more brutal world, and we are eager to cash in on the promise of as many Founding Father cameos as Ubisoft can muster. Plus, naval battles.
Number 6. Star Wars 1313.
The Star Wars license has had a rough time of it for the past few years. After the disappointing Force Unleashed 2 and Star Wars Kinect, a venture into the darker side of the galaxy was certainly welcome at this year's E3. Star Wars 1313 could have just cashed in on such low expectations, but instead they saw an opportunity to echo the ideal of the Dark Forces series and deliver an untethered experience for elder gamers everywhere. The most next-gen looking game of the show, 1313 offers to scratch a long dormant itch, and it's impossible to resist. No Jedis required.
Number 5. Splinter Cell Blacklist.
It's a testament to Blacklist's strength as a game demo that we remain transfixed despite a complete lack of Michael Ironside. As Splinter Cell moves further out of the shadows of tactical stealth, the franchise has begun to integrate the best of third-person action. Sam Fisher's movement and HUD seems to have smoothed out even further since Conviction, with what little hangups that remained in environmental traversal stripped away completely. A stronger production emphasis on motion capture brings with it hints of merciless executions as well. Fisher's a new man, without a doubt, but he's still an agent we're ready to hire.
Number 4. Beyond Two Souls.
From the makers of that one game starring David Bowie comes a game starring Ellen Page. Heavy Rain was by its nature a polarizing experiment, but with Beyond Two Souls, Quantic Dream looks to be attempting a more action-packed experience, less entrenched in the uncanny valley. The mystique of Jodie Holmes' ethereal companion hooked us immediately, and the game's stunning graphical detail really does sell the idea of a tangible world about to collide with the spiritual unknown. We're hoping the promised retweaking of character controls helps smooth out the developer's prior gameplay hiccups, so that the promise of an interactive drama can be more than just hipster forum speak.
Number 3. South Park: The Stick of Truth.
We're surprised as hell to see South Park up so high. Everything about this game seems to work against it on paper. A TV licensed game made by a studio whose previous efforts fell short of the critics' marks. But Matt Stone and Trey Parker's show-stealing appearance at the Microsoft press briefing reassured us that Obsidian is challenging the creators to fully realize the Mountain Town for the first time. If its debut trailer is any indication, Stick of Truth looks to be reveling in the show's cardboard style and ribald humor. It seemed impossible before E3 started, but the hope of a game that can finally make good on South Park has been rekindled.
Number 2. The Last of Us.
Let's ignore the Sony crowd's unnerving reaction to point-blank shotgun executions for a moment. Naughty Dog's vision of the post-apocalypse was fully realized at this year's show. The relationship between Joel and Ellie was the immediate highlight of the experience. Dynamic banter has taken a more morbid turn since the lighter dialogues of Nathan Drake and crew. Add to that the scarcity of ammo and dilapidated environments, and The Last of Us really seems to sell the idea of both a visually lush and morally exhausting post-virus landscape. Much of the game is still up in the air, but Naughty Dog's pedigree demands a level of quality unequaled in most parts of the industry. The end of the world may be video games' second most popular destination, so here's hoping companions like these make surviving it worthwhile.
Number 1. Watch Dogs.
Ubisoft's venture into hacking and headhunting has undeniably dominated the buzz coming off of this year's Expo, and it's not difficult to see why. Its demo at the end of Ubisoft's press conference was a perfectly produced mosaic of the best gameplay tropes of the past generation. The open world of Grand Theft Auto combined with a Deus Ex cyberpunk aesthetic, polished to a mirror shine and ideally paced for its moment in the spotlight. It managed what every stage demo aspires to, enthralling gamers to the possibilities and keeping us all abuzz with unanswered questions. While it ultimately succumbed to the gunfights that overpopulated this year's show, it was the only demo that managed to captivate audiences despite dedicating most of its time to intrigue and world building. It recalled the best of E3's past while captivating the industry's expectations for the future, which is why Watch Dogs is ElderGeek.com's top game of E3 2012.